Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel once again, and this is gonna be another video game review. And so far, it's gonna be the first video game review of 2024. How did it take me so long in the year to finally do a video game review? Your guess is as good as mine. But nevertheless, we are here, and it's time to continue in a way what we started a couple years ago. If you remember, way back when on the channel, I reviewed the first Tomb Raider game in the reboot series that happened in 2013, and that was a while ago. That was quite a while ago, but. But since then, and what has Lara Croft been up to? Let's find out. I'm, of course, talking about Rise of the Tomb Raider. So, as always, I'm not not professional video game reviewer, analyst, or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I gotta say, I had a pretty decent time with this one. How does it compare to the first game? We're obviously going to get into that. But if you've seen these reviews before, you kind of know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking what I like and dislike about the game, plus give like a little plot summary as well. Now, it's not quite like the movie reviews where every game is going to have like a dedicated plot. Excuse me, like a dedicated plot. Some do, most do, I would say. Hey, but some don't. But nevertheless, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, this is kind of just how it's laid out in the wiki, but we do kind of jump back and forth between them because we do have like flashbacks and stuff like that. But also, um, but also. But also, it's kind of put into a condensed, concise format so that it makes sense. And so we're just gonna run through it how it's laid out. But just know some moments do kind of happen before others. But so this takes place, of course, a year after the events of Tomb Raider. Her and Lara Croft is still feeling the effects of what happened with Yamatai, all that, and she is going through her father Lord Croft's notes, looking for the lost city of Katesh, as well as looking for or what has been described as the promise of immortality. It's something he researched a lot before he died. He committed, actually, we'll get to that in just a second. Anna, who is kind of like, in a way, Laura's stepmother, question mark, kind of his dad, kind of her dad's girlfriend in a way. Tells him that, tells Laura to abandon her quest to look for Kitesh because it drove her father to committing self unaliving, and because I want to stay YouTube friendly, YouTuber's been on apparently from what I've seen with certain videos, YouTube's been on a bit of a power trip as of late. I know a lot of people hate the term, but yeah, YouTube's been a bit of a power trip as of late, and I don't want to be next on the table. Next on the chopping block, I should say. Laura is having none of Anna's concerns. He sets out to find where Katesh is. She heads to Syria, to the forgotten cities of Syria. To try to find what's going on with Katesh and everything, and she finds the tomb. The tomb is empty. She raids the tomb in a way. Okay, but she finds the tomb. Tomb's empty. He is attacked by Trinity, who is a. They started off as an ancient order of knights, and they turned into a military organization who investigates supernatural. And they are led by Constantine, and as Laura is getting away from them, they like attack her and everything. They have the helicopters, stuff like that. She finds a symbol that is etched into a tomb. She remembers it from her father's notes, and she learns of what source of immortality is called the Divine Source. So she is going after she's going after the Divine Source. He goes along with her friend Jonah, who again tries to talk her out of it. Laura's having none of it. So her and Jonah head to Siberia to who find the Divine Source. At first, the book is stolen by an assassin sent by Trinity. He almost kills her and almost kills Jonah, but they head to Siberia anyway to find the Divine Source. And now, really, them in Siberia is where the game really begins, and everything I described afterwards is kind of told to us through flashbacks and everything. But the game and like the tutorial area is it is in Siberia, and of course Siberia, much like Buffalo this time of year, as we've seen in like the South Towns, everything is very cold and very snowy. So they're heading up the mountain and everything, but they are unfortunately separated by a major avalanche, and Laura and Jonah get separated. Laura tells Jonah to head back, don't look for it, everything. Will that be the case? We'll find out. But Laura finds a Trinity base. He's a Soviet era base. He's that Trinity has set up, and she tries to grab the book. She's intercepted by Trinity, and she's tied up facing Anna. So they kidnapped her as well. Or did they? Because it turns out Anna is working with Trinity. At first, Constantine tries to torture Anna. Laura tells her to stop. He tries to get where the Divine Source is from Laura. Laura obviously doesn't know, and that's when Anna reveals that she is working with Trinity. So Laura is essentially betrayed by Anna, and Constantine is her brother. So what a twist. But so she asks Laura if she wants to join Trinity. Laura obviously says no. She's thrown into prison, and she alongside a prisoner named Jacob end up breaking out of the prison. They are chased by Trinity. Jacob saves her, takes her back, I should say, to his people. She's kind of patched up and everything, and she helps their people helps Jacob's people, that is, as they fight off Trinity. Eventually he learns that Laura learns that Jacob leads the inhabitants. I know this is kind of all over the place. I'm sorry, but Jacob is the leader of the remnants, and they are descendants of the prophets. Now, the prophet had apparently guarded the Divine Source, knew where the Divine Source was. It was just an unnamed prophet. It has very similar features to another prophet, but yeah, for now, just unnamed prophet. And the prophet has been battling Trinity. He for quite a while, for centuries. He's in fact, and the prophet kind of disappeared. Nobody knows where he is, essentially, but or seemingly that's the case. But Laura also learns that Anna is suffering from a illness, really needs the Divine Source to heal her of her illness. Jacob tries to tell Laura that the Divine Source is real. Well, pretty much confirming that her dad wasn't crazy, because as in the newspapers they're calling her dad crazy, and that's what drove him to do what he did, essentially. But the Divine Source is real, but not what she expects it to be. But Laura goes after it anyway. All she needs is a confirmation that it is real. So she tries to find the Atlas, and Sophia, who is Jacob's daughter, and had met Laura previously. Laura met her before meeting Jacob. And she tried to kill Laura at first, but comes around to trusting her once Laura starts helping Jacob's people and everything. She warns Laura of the deathless ones who are the immortal guardians of Katesh, fueled by the divine source. But we learn that later on, and we learn how everything ties together. Laura does find the atlas. Trinity finds it as well. They try to intercept her. Laura fights them off. Jonah comes back around. Jonah is found. He makes his way back to Laura. He's patched up and everything, and Laura uses the atlas to find where Katesh and thus where the divine source is. But Trinity shows up, takes Jonah and the atlas as well. And they set off to where the divine source is. Laura rescues Jonah from Trinity's clutches. He is very mortally wounded by Constantine, right in front of Laura, who is in front of the. Who's in front of kind of I think it's supposed to be kind of like a two-way mirror, but Jonah is badly wounded. Laura brings Jonah back to Jacob, and he heals him, I should say. Jacob heals him, and that's when Laura puts the pieces together and figures out that Jacob is actually the long lost prophet, and that's the divine source he has obviously access to. And we do learn that the immortal ones were Jacob's former followers who used the divine source more and more to gain immortality, and they go to very extreme lengths to protect it, even killing some of the other Trinity soldiers. So Laura eventually goes into Katesh, and eventually she finds journals that were written by Trinity agents, which the journals are scattered throughout, similar to the previous game, but Laura realizes that the divine source does grant immortality at the cost of their soul, his sword in the divine source to prevent their death, essentially, which partially how Jacob is still alive. And Laura fights through Trinity. He finds the divine sword, or fights off Constantine, and Laura wounds him, and he dies. But Constantine reveals that Jacob's father did not commit self-unaliving, but was killed by Trinity. It definitely looked like it was self-unaliving to me, but I could be wrong. Laura goes into the chamber where the divine source is. Anna already has it. Jacob and Laura tries to tell Anna to put it down, put it back. Essentially, Anna opens it. It uses its power at first, but Laura takes it. It smashes it. It's the deathless ones finally die in a way. Jacob of immortality, he's lost, and he dies as well. He disintegrates, and eventually Laura and Jonah make their way back. After everything goes down, they make their way back to Croft Manor. Laura essentially has a new mission. She wants to find more of the world's mysteries. She's still fighting off Trinity, so Trinity is going to be a force for the rest of the series, all one of the games. In fact, they're going to be another major part of the next game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but that's obviously a game for another time. But eventually he kind of jumped back as as the game wraps up, as the credits roll and everything. We jump back. We see Anna and Laura talking. This was like right after what went down with the divine source and everything, and Laura asked Anna if she killed Lord Croft, aka her boyfriend and Laura's father. Anna denies it, saying that Trinity gave the order to kill him, and she couldn't do it because she loved him, so she didn't kill Lord Croft. But of course, he reveals who killed Lord Croft, because Laura asked her who killed Lord Croft / her dad. A sniper takes out Anna before she can reveal anything, and the sniper aims at Laura first, but he is ordered to stand down and not kill Laura. You could have taken out Laura after she caught the divine source. You could have taken out Laura and been done with her right then and there. But I guess we gotta set up for the sequel somehow. But and they're far from the only ones. But that lapse of judgment, it's part of the narrative, so it's whatever. But nevertheless, that is the plot of the game. I know that was kind of all over the place, but yeah. So in terms of what I liked about the game, for starters, a lot of the stuff that was kind of cool and that worked from like the first game, like it going around the sense of exploration, getting to find and things that were there. So there's like the relics and like the optional tombs that you can discover from the first game. All that is carried over into this game as well, and the mechanics for the most part remain the same. Now, considering the mechanics, for the first game were fine for the most part. For the most part, enjoyed them. I think having them carry over into this game, I think was a good move. It worked. It worked, and so the game is still relatively fun. You get your weapons just like the first game. You get your bow and arrow. You got your shotgun. You got your assault rifle, and you have your pistol. You have the cams as well for carrying over from the first game. You got the skill tree. You got different types of weapons that you can swap out for like your pistol, your assault rifle, your shotgun, and your bow and arrow and everything. You have several different outfits, including some ones referencing past Tomb Raider games, including Tomb Raider 3, the OG Tomb Raider 3, and you even get different advantages such as like hunting and scavenging advantages, ammo consumption, healing, and all that. You get different advantages with different outfits that Lara Croft has. And you can even in the game there is like an in-game shop. You find one of the ex tradie soldiers who's like selling equipment and everything. You can even find Lara Croft's outfit from the first game, and why you want it in the bone-chilling cold of Siberia. I'm not sure, but you absolutely can. If you wish, and the plot and everything, I think is fine. It's the greatest thing ever. Not really, but it's fine. The characters, I think, are cool. Like some of the characters returning. Laura doesn't quite have the gang that she had from the not like a gang like gang violence or anything, but like her friends from the first game, such as like Sam and everything. They aren't carry over into this game, but Jonah's there. Jonah is still there, which is nice. But seeing Laura with her new friends, I think, is pretty cool for the most part. Jacob's people, and having Jacob be the pivotal character that he is to the story, I think it makes him a very interesting character, or very mysterious in a way, but also kind of cool. Well, it's a character that you can find yourself rooting for, and when it comes to protecting the divine source, why he gave it to his followers in the first place, you can all kind of you can kind of resonate with it. Now, the twist of him being the lost prophet, it's one that you can kind of see coming, but I think the twist is still done relatively well. It makes sense, but it's not super duper like predictable to the point of boredom. But it's predictable enough to where it's like, oh yeah, he's the prophet. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's not like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, of course he's the prophet, stuff like that. And you can see coming from a mile away. You can kind of see it coming. The hints are kind of there, but once it's revealed, then it's like, oh, okay, hey, cool. And having Anna and her involvement, hence I think was fine for the most part, and having Constantine kind of those duos being kind of the main villains. I think in terms of main villainy, I wouldn't. In terms of like the hierarchy, top to bottom, I would kind of place them in the middle. Well, their motives, I think, are interesting. Why they're working for Trinity, I think because they're essentially sick, or Anna's sick, and Constantine is looking out for his sister, as you should for your siblings. And so I think that kind of ties them together and kind of ties them back to the divine source and everything. So the way everything's tied together, I think, works for the most part. In terms of what I didn't quite like about it, I think I think the main villains were okay, but left a lot to be desired. But I did want to see them fleshed out a bit more. The final battle against Constantine admittedly was pretty disappointing, and you kind of kind of stealth kill him a couple times. He takes your weapons at first. You just stealth kill him a couple times, just sneak up on him a couple times, and then he's pretty much down for the count. So he doesn't even get the 3. I think he just got the 2, if I'm not mistaken. But he just stealth will kill him a couple times. You kind of lose him, and then you stealth kill him a couple times. And so, admittedly, I think that kind of fell flat. The game is a bit on the shorter side of things. It's not unbearably shorter where it's like that's it, but it is kind of on the shorter side. Right, and admittedly a little bit too much is carried over from the first game. They don't really revolutionize everything. Now, granted, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like, hey, I want to see them do a little bit more when it comes to the second game. Now, one thing is kind of a gray area, and admittedly, it's kind of on me for waiting so long to play the game. Is there are like cards. I believe there was like a kind of card trading service, like mechanic gameplay aspect to the game. The game does have DLC. I haven't done the DLC yet, and will I do the DLC? I'm not entirely sure yet, but it does have cards, like a card system, and you get different like card packs upon either buying like the complete edition of the game, which I did back then, but also kind of but also for completing certain parts of the main campaign, the main story, you do get certain cards, and I imagine they have some use, but because I believe the service is discontinued because Square Enix no longer supports it, it kind of doesn't. What's the best way to put it? It kind of doesn't really function. Like the cards almost serve no function, or at least not one that I can find. But again, that's kind of a gray area because I don't really know what they do, so I can't fully judge it. Can't fully comment on it. But otherwise, yeah, not a bad game, and I do want to see what they. It does kind of make me interested to play the final game. But like I said, we'll get to that when we get to that. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see it as soon as it drops. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the game, my review of the game. Did you like Rise of the Tomb Raider? Did you like my review of Rise of the Tomb Raider? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.